Hi, Alicia. Thank you for your next answers that you have submitted. Now let's have a look at the essay about business hours and the graph, and the answer to the graph about rainfall. Okay. In many countries, shops have extended business hours. Is this a positive or negative development, in your opinion? Excessive business schedules have become a debatable issue over the last years. Okay. Some people believe that this can be beneficial for modern busy lifestyles, whereas others claim that it is only a way to reinforce consumerism and its deleterious consequences. Beautiful, beautiful use of vocabulary. I just love when I see beautiful, complex vocabulary. My brain goes like, oh, yay, band 9 vocabulary, yay. Personally, I agree with the latter. With which one? With the latter opinion. Because if you say latter, I think of, look, or what? Deleterious consequences? Latter opinion. Okay, this essay will discuss both sides of the argument, giving examples to prove points. Okay. Okay, but you say you agree with the latter, but you will discuss both sides. Okay. Well, all right, let's go. I was going to say that the sentence is excessive, but let it be. On the one hand, it is undeniable that the prolongation of shops' opening hours, possessive, can exert a detrimental effect on our society by promoting consumerism. Great. This is due to the fact that most often there is not a real necessity to obtain things, and I wouldn't say obtain, I would say acquire. Acquire is more precise here. And people just buy them because of their wide availability. I would use passive, and people resort, not passive, no. People resort to buying them because of their wide availability. Consistent with this line of thinking, a recent report by the Spanish Consumer Department stated, I would say states, that the verb state prefers the simple tenses and most often present simple. That after the city council decided to keep shops and malls open until 10 p.m. In the city center, sales almost quadrupled. Great use of vocabulary. Okay. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that the extension of shop schedules entails a significant rise in overall consumption. Okay, which may have negative implications regarding, for example, climate change and sustainability. Wait. I can see that you started from one thing and you got to another one. Your topic sentence says this, consumerism, right? So your paragraph says, guys, I'm going to tell you everything about consumerism here. Okay. While this sentence, look at this, says, so the next sentence, yes, it's about consumerism. You don't really need the things, but well, it's on sale for $5. Why shouldn't I get it, right? Like this is me in the Marshalls shop. But then you say, wait a second, the sales quadrupled. How does profit align with the fact that it promotes consumerism? I understand the implication, but you need to explain it. So perhaps you could explain the implication and connection to the consumerism here, because the people tend to buy things which are available and cheap. So they will go and shop, and shop owners will see that and keep their shops open until late in the night. And of course, this will lead to their profits. So shop owners are super happy, right? But people are later might regret their consumerist habits and their unnecessary piles of stuff, and well, of course you wouldn't use the word stuff, and in the end this does have an effect even on the ecology of the planet, right? Because fabric pollution, plastic pollution, and all that. Okay. good word which may have negative implication regarding, for example, even climate change and I wouldn't say sustainability, I say climate change and pollution. Sustainability is not a word that you should use here, or at least you should have introduced why sustainability. Okay, anyway, great vocabulary, great logic, but I told you what that sentence needs. Oh, let me highlight this sentence. Okay. On the other hand, there's ample evidence that keeping shops open until late offers some advantages for people's overscheduled agendas. Okay. This is because with the current busy lifestyles, people barely, I would say there, I even pronounce it as there first time. People barely have time to do their shopping during the weekdays, thereby needing more time after work or in the weekends. I would say at the weekends or on the weekends. It's either the British at or the American on, but not in. To illustrate this, a recent survey from the British Economic Department showed that 3 out of 5 British people prefer to do their shopping, and we are repeating ourselves, do their shopping, do their shopping. Perhaps you could replace one of these by a synonymous expression. Run their errands, let's say, run their errands after 7 p.m. or even on Sundays. However, nowadays there are other alternatives such as shopping on the internet, which could cover this necessity. Okay, you open a new line of discussion while you should conclude here. So to sum up, the main benefit that let's say still makes people think about keeping the shops open until late is this, and that. So this is opening a new line of discussion, so I would be very careful adding this. Looking at the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that although extending business hours can have some benefits for our modern way of life, and I think you said this before, modern way of life, right? Where did I see that? Modern way of life. No, modern busy lifestyles. Okay. The threat they entail, the threat they pose, no, collocation, to pose a threat for our society and the deleterious, you had deleterious consequences. Do not reuse this. If you had it in the introduction, please don't do it in the conclusion. Let's go shop for synonyms. And the harmful consequences, give me a word, repercussions. Repercussions of consumerism far outweigh its advantages. Okay, but I haven't seen the harmful repercussions of consumerism, because what you said is only this. That's a very, very small thing. So perhaps you could expand the harm of consumerist lifestyle here. Instead of doing this, right? Because this, again, I don't know why this sentence is there, because it goes completely somewhere else. So you have great ideas. You go slightly off topic in the first body paragraph. You need a concluding sentence here, because this sentence opens another idea, and you can't have two main ideas in a body paragraph. And you really have to make sure that it is very clear what you believe. I would add a bit more of your voice in here, because if you say that consumerism is negative, perhaps you should add a bit of more of the I in this paragraph. And another thing, if your position is aligned with the negative side, then your positive paragraph should come first, and your negative paragraph should come before the conclusion. Why? Because it works better in terms of essay structure. Okay, now let's have a look at the graph about rainfall. The triple line graph, beautiful, triple, yes, it is, exhibits the evolution of rainfall in England, Scotland, and Wales during 2018. From the graph, it is evident, you don't need this comma here, that in 2018, rainfall was more constant in England, its lowest point being in June at roughly this much. The highest peaks No, the peaks are already the highest points. So the peaks were in July and September. You can also say it peaked in July and September. Okay, the peaks were both being around, followed closely by February and April with numbers slightly above. Very nice. In Wales, they started the year with roughly this much. Then rainfall climbed to almost this much over the next 2 months. Um, and dropped again to its lowest figure in April with 25. After that, they registered three peaks around this, and this in May, July, and December, respectively. Great. June, August, September, October, and December exhibited broadly similar numbers around this much. I would say the remaining months exhibited broadly similar numbers. Okay. I would even say values, but up to you. Finally, Scotland presented its lowest rainfall point or value in February with, okay, again, with or at, I would rather say at, whereas in March and October it peaked up to almost this much. I would say I've never seen the word precipitation, I think. Precipitation, quantity, and I'm not sure that I saw the word quantity. So precipitation and quantity are very good words to expand your range of vocabulary in this topic. But you keep using peak, which is not bad, but don't overuse a good word. The rest of the year, they registered significant, in the rest of the year, significant fluctuations were registered, which ranged from this much in January and July to around this much in April and November. Okay, passive, and the fluctuation ranged from to. Overall, it seems that rain was more constant in England. I think I heard this before. More constant. Yes, look at this. It was more constant in England. Do not repeat yourself, please. Why? Because your beautiful style and vocabulary and grammar lose the precious points for range if you do this. Whereas Wales and Scotland experience considerable fluctuations along the year. How many times do you have the word fluctuation? You can say variance as an option for the word fluctuation. So this is a beautiful overview, absolutely beautiful. Try not to overdo it with the values here with numbers. But other than that, you have great style, great vocabulary. Don't forget precipitation and quantity. The with at variation. And other than that, this is absolutely beautiful. So, Alicia, you have a great style. All the best of luck for your exam. I'm sure that is going to work for you because you have a very good understanding of what you need to do in both parts 1 and 2. Remember, plan your time appropriately. Think about the 3 stages of the writing process. Please start with part 2. Please start with the essay, not with the graph, because very often it happens that people miscalculate their ability to write quickly, and they spend an entire 40 minutes on part 2 while on part 1, I mean on the visual in the academic IELTS, and they lose time and actually get more points for you get 60% of your score in writing from the essay. So please plan your time accordingly, and remember the 3 stages of the writing process. 1, brainstorming. You sit down, you draw some I don't know, arrows, keywords, diagrams, graphs, whatever, structures on paper, and you collect ideas only by paragraph, right? So you have clusters of ideas. Don't write sentences at this stage. Collect topical vocabulary. Think of how many synonyms for part-time jobs can I come up with. Stage 2, writing. When you write, you look at your collected ideas and you only write. You don't add any more ideas. No. And stage 3, proofreading. Leave yourself 5 minutes to reread your writing, make minor corrections. Just remember, make your corrections neat. Just strike through and write on top. do not make untidy corrections because you will lose points for untidiness. But please do check your own writing because you can gain up to 0.5 points band score because of correcting, thanks to your own correction of minor issues. I'm sure that you will do great, but don't underestimate your efforts and don't overestimate your efforts. It's not a piece of cake, but it's not rocket science either. So be reasonable and keep your eyes on the clock. That's very important. Okay, all the best of luck to you, and please keep us updated about your scores, and if anything goes wrong, let us know, and if everything goes right, please let me know, because I'd like to share your happiness. Best of luck and bye.